Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as TooLizForYou, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry. And let's get some, we may have to re-record that.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? There was no sound.
On the out, Mom.
Oh, all right, whatever.
That's your volume out. That does not affect your mic.
It doesn't? Well, who knew? Anyway, and I post irregularly as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram whenever I get a bee in my bonnet. I posted some of the sweaters that I finished recently, I think last week. Richard had his knee arthroscoped on Tuesday. It's been rather interesting around here. He came back from surgery on Tuesday and was buzzing around the house. I'm telling you, he wasn't using his cane. He was just, I said, you ought to rest. No, I don't need to rest. I feel fine.
And now he's a grumpy bear.
Yes, he is. The next day, and then he slept for 2 days in his recliner. And he's a bit upset that his knee isn't doing as well as it might. And I mentioned that he should be doing his exercises, and I had my head handed to me. And he suddenly read the booklet he got from the doctor where it says you're supposed to be doing these every hour and a half. And he started doing them yesterday. We have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So can't wait to hear about that, because I have a feeling that, well, first of all, they aggravated me by not resting the day he came back. And then he hasn't been exercising because it was swollen. You know, he's supposed to be icing it constantly. The doctor told me ice it, 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off, 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off. He didn't do that for the first several days. So I stay out of it. I had my knee done, and I was doing as much as I could to ice it. In fact, the more ice, the better. Well, I did take a break of a half an hour in between, but anyway, now he's trying to tell me that these ice machines are thousands of dollars.
Because when you looked it up, when you had your knee, when you had your knee replaced, you looked up the brand name and you exclaimed, "Oh, well, pooh, I guess I can't have one."
No, it was $450.
Well,
and he said I couldn't have it.
Well, I remember you telling me that it was...
No, it was not thousands. It was $450. That was it. And he said, "Oh, no, we can rent it for $225. I'm like, okay, fine. But, look, we could have it forever, and we can get these different attachments where he does the knee, the arm, the whatever. No, now he's saying, oh, we should have it. Because you know whose knee it is. Anyway, I have been knitting up the storm.
I see. I have too. I finished a thing.
Oh, well, why don't you go talk about that then?
I finished socks.
Oh, cool.
So these are the socks that I was telling you I was going to knit 6 because that's how much yarn I had. I ended up having enough for 7.
Cool.
And I had one full repeat left over in yarn, but you don't want to have mismatched socks that way. So I ended up getting those done, and so these are all done and ready to be worn. I finished those during a training call.
Cool.
Actually, no, I finished one of them during a training call, and then this one that I had put on, was it this one I put on waist yarn? Yeah, this one that I had put on waist yarn because it was the first one done. I reattached and knit, so now they matched, and I finished that on the subway. And then the subway was being funky this week.
Not good.
No. So I was on the train for an hour and a half when I should be on the train for 20 minutes. Well, I finished it, and then I cast on a new sock on the subway.
Oh, wow.
I was standing on the subway and I cast this on. Look at that. Not bad.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm very proud.
Very nice.
Very proud of myself.
One of the reasons why I like toe up, because I've had a number of top-down socks open up later. I'm not quite sure why. Or I think my toe actually goes through and gets the join-up yarn, and then the whole thing opens up.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing if you're physical therapy and in your socks and suddenly your toe is out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one of my Advent pairs of socks has a hole in the toe already because I apparently smashed a toenail and so had a little bit of a claw and wore my new steel toe boots and rubbed a hole.
Oh, crumb. Well,
it's okay.
Always darn it.
I'm going to.
We're really good at darning.
Yes.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now we'll get to my...
Yes.
Woo. I have one finished sleeve.
Oh, my word. It's so pretty, Mom. Have you put your arm up through it?
I have not, but I've measured it. It's 18.5 inches.
I meant the width, but okay. I was just making sure that your floats are all good and all that.
Well, no, because you only float.
Oh, this is all done in Tarsia?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Never mind, I have a sweater on underneath.
I know.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
The floats may be a little tight up here, but that's over a sweater.
Okay.
So these are fine. No, actually this pattern is, they tell you to start off with 3 feet and then just do another 3 feet. I do about 5 feet 7 inches. And do that twice. And that's what happens there. So, yeah, I'll be fine. Because this one's fine.
Okay.
And so this is, where's my pattern? I can't bend my arm that way. So,
there it is.
There it is.
Nice.
There's the pattern. So this is a floating Antarctica. Here's the piece that's coming out the end. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get around the
floats.
Going
around your arm.
Going around the arm. So this is great. I think I may go one size up on the needle because my floats are really tight.
Maybe also make sure you're using a needle length that pulls it to its fullest potential, so that you're not squishing it. No, I meant at the body.
I know, but it's really hard in a sleeve. I found that very difficult up here at the bicep. I found it very difficult because it's just. I found it very difficult to stretch it. I had been stretching it in the body as I went around. Mm-hmm. And maybe, because you can see that this is relatively loose. Mm-hmm. So I guess the answer is, when I finish this sleeve, I'll try it on and see how it's going. But it is very pretty.
It's gorgeous.
So, of course, my diet isn't helped by the lasagna and the potatoes we had today. But,
yeah, well.
Oh, well.
It's Palm Sunday.
It's Palm Sunday. Oh, yes. I didn't go to church today because Richard wasn't up to it, but my daughter brought me a palm cross. And Passover starts on Thursday, so this is Pesach. I hope you all have very nice seders and your family can gather. And for those of you who are celebrating Ramadan, at least they're relatively short days. They're at least even days. I always felt sorry for my friends when they're in the summer.
Yeah.
Because it's hot and your body's under stress anyway.
Yeah.
And to go without eating all day, and in fact, not even supposed to drink, I would find that very hard. So you were in my thoughts. And of course, Easter.
And hope your iftar every evening is good and with family.
Yes.
And that you are preparing for Eid.
For Eid, yes. Yes, always a fun time. So we have Holy Week this week. Tenebrae is Wednesday, which our church is not celebrating this year. Maundy Thursday is obviously Thursday. Good Friday. I won't be at services because I've got a doctor's appointment. I check up my annual physical that they forgot to send me the postcard about, so it's on Good Friday. Eep. Saturday, our church isn't celebrating Easter Eve, which it has done for 33 years. Actually, probably 35 years. But we've got interim minister. And really interim only until June, right?
Yeah.
June, July. So no Easter Eve, but certainly Easter, and I know I'm reading on Easter. And then we're going up to Connecticut because my niece has invited us up for the Easter egg hunt and asked me to make these scalloped potatoes that I made last year. And I had taken the recipe and I had doctored it. So I now found another recipe, which I think I'll go ahead and print or copy out because I think it's a little better. I think I'll do half of the amount of garlic.
Don't have it, just one less.
Well, it said 3 or 4 and I put in 4 because I like garlic.
You put in 4? I thought you said you only put in 3.
No, I put in 4. It said 3 to 4, so I put in 4.
Yeah, I mean, I would have too.
So I'll break it back down to 2, and then and I make them the day before, and then reheat them. And I reheat them usually putting in more cheese. I'm gonna have to run to the grocery store and get more dairy-free provolone because that really I think sets it off. The recipe as written for this thing isn't very cheesy at all, so I got to get some dairy-free Parmesan, and then I throw in dairy-free mozzarella and dairy-free provolone on top of that, and then it tastes like good scalloped potatoes. I thought the lasagna was good.
Yeah.
Well, I doctored that up with extra mozzarella, so there was a whole extra package of mozzarella in that. We like our cheese.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing that we have to be dairy free, otherwise we'd be eating ourselves through the cheese aisle.
Constantly. We would.
I actually did try goat cheese once. It's not quite as reactive as cow cheese, but it's not worth the headache. So anyway, anything else that you're working on?
I'm working on so much.
Oh, so, I'm glad I asked.
I have what I call my project that I keep at my boyfriend's, which is the poetry sweater. And
that's gorgeous.
I think I only have another 10 rows.
I think so too.
Because it's supposed to be 10.5 inches from here.
From your arm? From
my arm. And it was, last I measured, I stretched it a little bit because it is alpaca. So this is gonna stretch. So I think measuring it kind of stretched is probably...
It's 9 3/4.
Yeah. So I think I'll knit 10 more rows, and then I'll put it on waist yarn. No, press.
Oh.
They just covered up a regular
tape measure. Look at that. And then stitched over it somehow.
Yep.
Well, that's quite nice.
So I only have 10 more rows and the ribbing, and then I'll put on the sleeves. All of a sudden yesterday I was knitting on this, and I ran out of yarn.
No.
So I ran out of the skein yarn.
There.
Yeah. Well, no, I had them with me. So I proceeded to put the skein around my knees and handball a skein of yarn. I'm going to...
I actually like it better that way. I think it stretches the yarn less.
Probably, but I am going to use the Swift and Winder to wind the last one. It's frustrating.
Because I have found that yarn, when I go back to these projects that I have caked the yarn years ago, that there's a stretch to it.
Yeah.
So I actually have started not using the Swift. Actually, I could use the Swift,
just not the ball winder,
and not use the ball winder because I think it puts extra tension on it.
Well, that's why sometimes I would double wind the ball. You do it once to get it off the Swift, and then you do the second one, and it's looser the second time.
Well, that I could see, but usually I'm downstairs by that time, so it's just as easy to lay it over my knees as I'm, kind of laying out on the sofa and hand winding it. So, 6 of one, half a dozen another. I am going to have to hand wind my last one, because I'm almost finished the second ball of blue. I only have 3 balls of blue, so I figure I'll do the pattern for as long as I can. And then when the yellow runs out, the yellow runs out.
You mean blue?
No, the yellow. I figure, there's so much of the yellow, and you're taking it around the whole body. And it'll be whatever it'll be. If I'd known, I probably should have bought an extra ball of blue.
But you bought what
I
was
bought
in the
with
pattern.
the pattern set.
Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll
see as it comes out what it is.
Yes.
So I have passed. Hold on. Where's the center of this? Hold on. There are 3 of these guys, and these goes in the center. So this is the Ardea, Ardea from PomPom from last year, 2 years ago. And
pretty.
so there are 7 of the slip stitch patterns, and I think I have 5 of them done. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have 5 of them done.
Okay.
So I have 2 more to go, and then I put them together, and my gauge is working out, I think, actually closer to the gauge of the pattern than what my swatch said. So we will see.
That's better.
Yeah, but it's a cropped sweater, so I might end up having a bit of a bigger ribbing at the bottom.
Not terrible.
Not terrible. But also, I was looking at this. You can definitely see the difference, or I can see the difference between where I was learning how this all works versus I've already made one half. This is definitely a better, smoother situation. Good thing this one is the front. So I have finished. So it's a like 4 or 5 page pattern, but most of that is describing the different stitch patterns. So there are 2 pages of actual
directions
of the instructions, and I'm completely done with 1 page.
Oh, that's great.
So I now only have to worry about from here down, and then around the back.
Great.
Here down does include part of here, but that's okay. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really glad. Like, it's been nice to have it. I don't know. It's just been nice. And again, I am on my last skein for this project, so hopefully that will all be okay.
Does it have sleeves?
No, it has little baby cuffs.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be sort of off the shoulder.
All right.
Slightly. Yeah.
Well,
So
it looks
it'll be
nice.
really cute. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying having one project that I leave at the boyfriend's and one project that is like my at-home project. Currently they are both whips because I told myself I wasn't going to cast on something new until I got some whips done. So we're getting some whips done, and then I think I'm going to cast on something new.
Well, I think I'm going to cast on one of those cotton dresses after I finish this sweater.
Well, I think I am either going to... I have to decide what's going to be the new project for the boyfriends. I think that's either going to be the nurtured or the gingham top, the one that's the check. So we'll see. But I also have another colorwork sweater that I am now thinking is going to be one of my...
That's beautiful.
So, remember
gosh.
how we bought yarn for the Stephen West MCal?
Yes.
And we both decided that the MCal
this.
wasn't for us. So
and
you
I
know
love
how you
my
knit
breathing,
a sweater?
I love my breathing space.
So you made a breathing space, and
I did.
I'm looking at making...
I love that breathing space. In fact, I can see making a couple dresses out of the breathing space. So between my MoMA, which I finished in record time, which I have yarn to make another one, I think I may make a cotton dress, and then, that's terrific.
I'm thinking of making a Rumble Raglan.
Nice.
One of my online knitting groups we're doing kind of a knit along for it. Like an informal one, just,
cool.
Picking out colors, helping people with sizes. So these are my 3 colors. I do have 2 skeins of the gray and the light teal, but I think I'm going to try and make it, like I'm going to try and do it with all just 1 skein of each. So we'll see how this goes. Currently, the amount of ease that it says that you will be able to have like 13 inches of negative ease. It's a 2x2 color work. I don't trust it that much. So I'm going to go with something like 5 inches of negative ease, and we'll see.
Yeah. Because they don't stretch.
But this one says it does, and I don't know exactly
how. I don't know how,
but
unless it's a double knit.
So we're gonna trust the process a bit.
Okay.
Yes,
you have to.
Yeah.
You can always rip it out.
Exactly. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I think this is going to be probably a home project, because I would like to
there's more work on it.
Yeah, well, but also because I would like to keep the stuff that I keep at the boyfriend's, I think should be boyfriend friendly.
I think so too, because otherwise it hurts his breathing. Yeah.
So those are what I've been working on and what I'm thinking of casting on next. I also have the Freckled Whimsy DK from this year, so from 2022 Advent, that I need to knit up. These are DK weight socks. I just need to find my DK weight socks that I knit this pattern in to make sure I know what my stitch count is.
Right.
Because I think it's 48 on 2s.
Yeah, that's what I would make.
Yeah. Okay, so then I think I might just do it.
I do 60s on 1.5.
I do 60s, and then for the heel, I increase to a 64. And then for the heel and the, right at the heel, because I do this insert kind of heel, so the 1 or 2 rows below where I'm going to start the heel, I increase 2 stitches on each side, so it's 64 then, and then I keep 64 throughout because I have large calves. Mm. And it fits really well, and it holds.
Yeah, I go
it
back
tends
down.
It doesn't tend to pull at my heel as much, which I don't know how else to explain it, but it almost feels I have a few socks that are 60s. Actually, I have one pair that's a 56, because we used to do a 56 sock.
Yes, we did. You used to have tiny feet.
Yeah.
Craziness.
So, but yeah, I have found that I like doing the 60 and then going up. Well, and actually on these, I went up in these. I kind of screwed up because I didn't realize that the stripe pattern, these stripes were thinner than the Advent socks I had been making. So I had on the Advent sock, I would get to 10 stripes and then do the increase, and then I'd have another few rows, and then you'd start so at 10 stripes, I did the increase, and then I was like, that's only 4 inches.
My foot's longer than that.
My foot's longer than that. So, yeah, realized that walking around with even though I have to have, my socks, they're pretty portable. I need to always have my little
ruler,
local yarn store day ruler, because it is 6 1/4 inches, and that for a fingering weight sock on ones is what I need to start my heel.
Makes sense.
I don't think it's the same for DK, so I think the DK I'm gonna have to. That's the other thing, is I want to measure what the DK is.
Your heel hasn't moved,
but the amount of yarn agreed, but this depth changes.
Yes, that changes, but
that changes.
So what you used this for was to know when to start that.
Right.
This still remains the same. You knit till you get to that, and then
this is going to be the same. Though
but yes, this is going to be different with your DK.
Well, it's going to be different because it's different yarn, but it's also 48.
But this, wherever you start your heel at, will remain the same. Your heel hasn't moved.
I understand that, but my heel, this part
will be different.
Yes. But this part is dependent on a pattern.
Right.
I can't change that. I can change the depth.
Right.
So maybe... So I just need to find the sock and measure it.
Right. Right.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I think on a DK weight sock, my little heel under piece has to be deeper.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
There, with a 2, you've got more stretch in it.
I think it's going to be deeper.
Deeper. Yeah.
On DK, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Anyway, I had a few things arrive at the house. I've been going nuts on Sephora. So I've got Unseen. I've got now 2 little things of Unseen sunscreen, which I really like.
I do too.
Of course, I still have the big, huge thing of sunscreen that is white. But anyway, now I have 2 little...
But it's still usable.
2 of the larger Unseen ones that I'm starting to use now when we go to the boatyard. And the reason that we didn't record last week because we were at the boatyard till dark and then came home because Richard was anticipating his knee surgery, so he wanted to get as much done as possible, and he finished all of his jobs. So now we only have, we've got the border, we've got the bumper pad to do, we've got the window to do, and they're both temperature dependent, so I don't think we're...
And we've had 30-degree weather this week.
Yeah, and it's going to be going down to the 20s tonight.
What?
Yeah, 25, 26 overnight. And then up to 60 tomorrow afternoon.
I have down to 33.
Oh, well.
Yeah, down to 33. Maybe feels like.
Could be feels like. They're very big on telling you wind chill at the same time.
Easter weekend's going to be cold, too. Well,
yeah, I'm not going to be able to wear my Easter dress. So, it's that thing, that silk lovely thing, no, it'd be too cold. So I think that'll be... maybe that open work sweater that I have because that's festive and warm. So anyway, I saw this in my news feed and they said, oh, these are the summer dresses people are buying on Amazon. And this looks very much like a dress that I had bought from Talbot's way back when. And they no longer stock. So I have put it on. It really looks nice. The V is a little deep. And just like the one I bought at Talbot's, I will pull it up about 3 inches and hand tack it. And it will be fine. So this is a great dress for summer.
Good.
It's stretchy in all different ways. And it's perfect for the boat. And so the boat should be... in good shape. So if we get the window done, then we will have repaired all the leaks that we know about. The boatyard is fixing the bottom of the boat. When we were out there, the guy that had been contracted to do the fiberglass work was working on it. So that's great. And we have the bumpers in the basement. So it's a matter of Richard getting his knee good back again. And then waiting for the weather to be a solid
40 and rising?
No, I think it needs to be 60 and above for the window and the bumper. So
that's going to be a little bit.
I think it's going to be the end of April. So we'll see. I think we're going to have to go out there between now and then because I think they're going to want to start painting the boat and polishing the boat and all that kind of stuff. And we have not spoken to them yet about what paint to use. So, but I got that in the mail, and then I got this in the mail.
I was going to say, why don't we talk about books after?
Okay, we can talk about books after.
So, another thing I have made, but I didn't tell you all about just yet, is I did a mock-up for, I've done like 3 mock-ups for backpacks, because my backpack is dying.
Yes.
I'm currently transitioned to a backpack I bought off of Amazon, which I like the size of. It's just it is just an ooch to, it is, no, it's fine. This one's fine. But I want to make one.
I understand that, but you might just want to try my red one.
Okay. Maybe next weekend.
Because it fits, I think it fits my computer.
I don't think so.
All right, we'll see.
So that's my Amazon bag. I tried my work laptop in it, and it just doesn't fit.
Really?
Yeah. But I had mocked up a range backpack by Noodlehead, and it is a backpack I made 4 years ago. And I mocked up the lining of it. So I have multiple pockets here.
Good.
Here, I'll flip it inside out so you can see. I have multiple pockets. And
1, 2, 3 pockets and then a big pocket.
Yeah. And then I put my laptop in it, and the laptop came right up to the top edge, which is fine because this is shorter than it should be because I'm going to put a zipper in it. So what I realized is that I didn't place this pocket at the bottom of the bag. So it'll compress at the bottom, and that's not what you want. So we're going to turn this into just a slip pocket for the laptop to be held in by. And then I'm going to put another...
Oh, I see. You're going to cut the bottom seam.
Going to cut the bottom seam. And then I'm going to put another pocket or two on this side. And then I think we're good. So I think I can order all of the fixings to make the backpack. Yeah, all the hardware to make a backpack. And maybe get that done in the next few weeks. So that's exciting. Because this has been a saga and a half.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I really want to... Now that I've made my bag, I like being able to say, well, yes, I made my bag.
And it has everything you want.
It does. And I don't mind the Amazon bag I found. So I might use it. I might try and find a pattern that is similar to it for the next one.
That's a good idea.
But now that I've already mocked this up, I'm like, no, we are moving ahead with this. So yeah. So that, and then I ordered some things.
Well, when you get that set up, I want to look at it because I still have that leather.
And I was going to say, or we can also mock up the Slabtown backpack, the one with the roll top that you bought all the fixings for.
I don't know what I've done with them.
Okay, well, we'll find them. But, I mean, we own that pattern, too. And you were very excited about that.
I was excited about it. Also bought another pattern downstairs. And what's upsetting when I buy patterns off of Pattern Review is that the pattern comes and they printed it off. They don't print the picture of what it is.
Oh, boo.
So I have to go back in and I have to capture the picture of what it is and then slip it into a plastic bag with the pattern so I know what it is. But basically this was a top, a nice top that I was just going to elongate.
Into a dress?
Into a dress. Yes, one of those things you just throw over your head because it's for stretchy fabric.
Oh, nice.
And you just throw it over your head and go. So something along these lines, minus the waist, but just throw it over your head. So anyway, I think it doesn't have a V-neck. I think it has one of those twisty things in the front. Anyway, have I made anything? No, and I refuse to get on the scale because I've been having a problem with snacking in the middle of the night.
It happens. We all have our off
weeks. I think
weeks.
I have to go back and taking my anti-heartburn medicine constantly instead of trying to trade it off with the other thing he gave me because I am having heartburn.
Me too. That's why I came home and I came over and ate a whole bunch of chips.
Ah, yes. Well,
because that is not the correct thing to do.
This is well, I have over-the-counter Nexium, so you could read that and you could take that. I'm not going to give you my
I don't want
my medical Nexium, but I do have some of the over-the-counter Nexium.
Yeah,
and that would be a better bet.
That would be a good bet.
Yes,
because I'm down to my last famotidine pill, but it's the same thing as Nexium.
No, it's not.
Or not Nexium, but I could essentially get it over the counter.
Right, famotidine you can get over the counter. Yeah. That's what I'm alternating with, famotidine with the Nexium, and the Nexium works a charm.
Oh, the famotidine works a charm for me.
The famotidine lets some stomach acid through. So the doctor didn't want me to be acid free. He wanted me to have some stomach acid because that's the way your body's supposed to work. Well, apparently not mine. And apparently not with all the vegetables that I'm eating. Well,
this is a good thing. I really appreciate when my mother shares these. Some of you might find this to be TMI. I appreciate when my mother informs me of these things before they happen to me.
Yes. Because
this could be an issue. Because I've been on the famotidine, on and off since this time last year when I lost my voice.
Okay, so I find the famotidine and I have an iffy relationship. I may be able to only be able to do famotidine one day a week, and then have to go back to the Nexium the rest of the 6 days because I'm having terrible breakthrough heartburn. And I had that earlier today, and what did I do? I went and had 5 pieces of fake cheese.
Yep.
And then I tried the Gaviscon. Yes. That's not an answer.
No.
So I think, and I know that I can take my Nexium twice a day because he started me off with once in the morning, once at night. And then we got it down to once a day, and then he's trying the famotidine. The famotidine is not doing well with all the vegetables. There's a lot
so
more.
I just need to stay a carnivore. Good to know.
Maybe, or try some Nexium over the counter. Anyway. Oh, and she's got some more great
So I got yarn. So work has been stressful. Tina's Toasty Toes is having a discontinuation sale.
Of some of her yarns.
Of some of her yarns.
Bases.
Yeah.
That's the word.
And so they're all blends. And we know how much we like blends here in this household. So we have Toasty Alpaca Silk Linen Fingering, which is 51% baby alpaca, 24% silk, and 25% nylon, or not nylon, linen. And so I got these 2 in cobalt blue. And I got these 4 in royal purple.
Lovely.
And then she's also discontinuing her Superwash Merino and Bamboo blend. So I got these 2 in Plum Dandy.
How much bamboo?
20%.
Oh, the rest is wool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that stays at your apartment.
Yeah, for now. And then I just wear it. And then this is Royalty, also on the bamboo. So, yeah, supporting local, because she's in, on Long Island as well. And so we'll also meet her at the Knit Retreat.
Yes, which is coming up this month, now that we're in April.
Wow.
It was so funny. I got a YouTube clip from UVA. I graduated from UVA, as you may or may not know. And so it's big U, big V, and a small A for University of Virginia. Well, they sent out an April Fool's Day YouTube. I thought I was going to fall off
I
the
haven't
couch.
watched it. All I know is that my mother sent me an April Fool's Day video from UVA.
I love it. So they're going on and on about how the U stands for university, the V stands for Virginia, and then you got this A just hanging out there. And if they got rid of the A, it would cut printing costs. It would be great, and people wouldn't keep referring to the University of Virginia as UVA. I said UVA. Yes, I can see that. And we're known, well, ladies in the South often wore little black dresses with your pearls. And there was a woman at the conference table when they talk about eliminating the A, she just clutches her pearls. It was a great April Fool's Day video. I truly loved it. And then we watched a video from Tally Ho, which is a boat sailor and builder who is renovating a 105-year-old boat that was built in Great Britain by Albert Strange. Apparently he is somebody who used to be somebody in maritime architecture. And they put out an April Fool's Day video about how to put a front door in the boat so that when you come up to a dock, you just walk out. It makes it very easy to get the groceries aboard and get the laundry off. And they actually made up a panel door. Richard and I are dying. And it's like I looked at just as I knew the UVA one was an April Fool's joke within 10 seconds. Because anybody who knows state abbreviations knows that the abbreviation for Virginia is VA. So the A is not just hanging out there. Yeah. It's like the T on Vermont.
Yes.
It's important. Well, you don't put a front door in the bow of a boat. You don't do it because you'll lose the water tightness, integrity of the boat. Right. Rich and I are laughing hysterically about this. So freaking funny. So some of the April Fool's Day YouTubes have been just priceless. The YouTube videos, it's Samson Boat Builders. or the boat's name is Tally Ho. If you're interested at all in watching someone build a boat or rebuild a boat from scratch, he's really good, because he has sailed across the Atlantic several times. He has done boat building of smaller boats. This is a 60-foot boat, so he has made smaller boats, but this is just amazing, and he has had donations of time and materials. It's really fascinating. So anyway, we watched that, and then your father got somebody was cleaning out their boat magazines and gave them to your father. And he was reading me one today where there were 6 guys between the ages of 70 and 80, mostly over the age of 75, who were going out for a week of sailing. Their wives are supporting from home. I said, darn right. And somewhere in there they said, one of the mistakes we've made, we're not letting the wives provision the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently what they had was they had sausages, they had beer, and they had like chips, and they didn't have much else. So they said the next time they're going to let the wives provision the boat. Yeah. So that they didn't quite have all the meals that they should have. Then they tried to run the microwave when they were underway. And of course, they were tilting. They were healing. And the rotary plate on the microwave doesn't work when it's at heel. So they said, but the oven worked.
Is on a gimbal, so of course
it worked a charm. And I'm going, oh my God, find out their names. You never want to go on a boat with them.
Or no, we can go on a boat. We just can't go anywhere overnight.
Well, they were doing overnight stretches.
Oh, goodness.
So they were finding the overnight watches to be difficult. I'm like, yeah. And then they were having trouble maintaining the oil to the right level. They put in a cord and it didn't seem to make a difference. And I'm going,
there's a leak somewhere, babes.
Ooh, that's not
It's
good.
not a Subaru.
No, this is not good. So they had a number of issues. Well, anyway, the way it was written was hysterically funny. I almost fell off the couch. You find out their names, and you don't ever go on a boat with them any more than a couple hours, because they're like trouble waiting to happen. Yeah. And it would never happen with Richard. He is just so persnickety and precise about things. I don't worry about this kind of stuff. And I've learned a lot as we've been working on the boat this year. So, I'm getting even better at fixing things myself. So, anyway, we're doing quite well. Now what?
Now for the magazines.
PomPom. Actually, Knit Picks, which is trying to sell you yarn and materials. They've got a number of patterns in here that I think are lovely. I really do like this one. Because it keeps it from falling off your shoulders by having this little knit.
It's an I-cord.
It's an I-cord, thank you. I-cord collar band that goes right across the V, and I think that really
creates a keyhole neckline.
Yes. And so I like that a lot. So you might want to pick up a copy of this Knit Picks. It's April 2023. Because they've got some really interesting patterns in it. So I just kind of put that up there for you. PomPom has a lot of color work, and let's say layers and layers. One thing I liked a lot was this bag, and they picked yarns. I love this. It looks like the pink and the yellow are setting over each other for this orange, and of course what they're doing is they're using orange in that square to show what the color mix would be. Then the other thing you were talking about,
like
the jacquard pullover. And I looked at that, and it looked like it was just an ecru, but it's not. It is actually a white and a yellow. I don't know if you can see it. And then they give you...
I do also like the cover pattern. That's cute.
This?
Yeah. It's brioche.
Yeah. So they talked about the jacquard loom patented in 1804 by Joseph Jacquard. And they used punch cards. So it was very much like an old IBM machine. And I was in college when we had to make our own punch cards to make the computer run. You had to write your own programs, and you had to use punch cards. Well, that's kind of a descendant of the jacquard weaving loom. Anyway, it's a really pretty, it's a crop top and I think it's lovely.
I don't know that it's so cropped, but
it's cropped for me.
It doesn't look like it's cropped. It looks like it's written to be in standard length.
Which is cropped for me.
Okay.
All right, it's cropped for me. I like them tunic length now. And then they've got tams.
Yep.
Which they talk about as color work, and what they're color working is around the edge of the tam. So on that tam, it's white and orange. And the one next to it, it's white and kind of chartreuse.
Yeah.
Chartreuse is not a color that's good for me, but maybe for other people. Then there's a loosened pullover. It offset neon striping that sits behind a fuzzy fabric. And it looks interesting to me. It looks like it would be warm. I'm just not in a mindset right now that I want to make a lot of warm things. But I think that's a very cute pattern.
Light and warm.
Light and warm, yes. So it actually may be good for summer.
Yeah.
But it's just seeming very warm to me. Then they have the overprint bag, where they're using 1, 2, 3, 4 colors to show what paint would be doing. And all of us carrying our own bags with us, you know, we could all use another bag. So this is one of the many joys of crochet, that it is so well suited to structural and sturdy fabrics. Absolutely true. We had a patient, or Richard had a patient, that used to make her own bags out of crochet, and she had some kind of polyester nylon thread that she used to order from someplace in the Midwest. It was indestructible. And that's what she would make her handbags out of. Truly amazing. And then Strata socks. Some very pretty
cute
socks. Very nice. I like that pattern. And they have in multiple colors. It's one of the things they're doing with PomPom, is showing things in different color
which I appreciate.
combinations. Now, I like that. I like that a lot. Then they have the
overlay
pullover in
cute.
2 different colors. So you've got it
with sleeves and without sleeves.
Yes. So you've got the pink and the orange, and then you've got a beige and a more beige and a yellow. And I like it with the sleeves.
Yeah.
I think it's really pretty. They don't show the pullover with the sleeves in as, it's on the front. There. I like that. And make it longer, make it a tunic, and I'm good for it.
This is so clever.
Weave fan tee. I would make if I made it into a dress.
It's so clever.
Let's see. It's a weave.
With crochet.
With crochet. 3 yarns pass over and under each other to create a series of undulating and changing layers, and the finished piece is perfect for spring layering. I think as a beach dress, this would be perfect for me. Absolutely perfect. So weave-on is named after the Old English word for weave, is a nod to its construction. It looks fantastic. So, here it is. Look at that. Really nice. And if I made that down to 3 or 4 inches above my knee, it would be perfect for a sundress at the beach. Next, they have a color bar hat.
Which is so cute.
And this is inspired by the cyan, magenta, yellow. I don't know what the K is for, but K printing and chocolate color experiments. Look at that. It looks like it's going to be an eye chart. So, yes. Really pretty. I mean, you could wear that with almost any coat. So that's a printing proof or test print page. Yes, so that's what they took it from. And then they've got halftone, which is the use of shadow knitting to create the illusion of pattern through texture. So I think it's really pretty.
It is.
So a lot of color work in this particular edition. And then we're into the patterns and advertisements and stuff like that. So it's a really good pom-pom.
Yeah.
Oh, look at what Stephen and Penelope have made.
Different animals for needle gauges.
Yes. Look at that. Very pretty. I like the porpoise. Or the dolphin. Very nice. Very, very nice. So, really nice pom-pom.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else have we got?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. Anyway, happy holidays. I don't know if we're going to be recording next week since we're going to be running up and doing Easter egg hunting. So, it may be the following week. Anyway, good luck. Have great holidays. And we'll see you the next time we record. Bye.
See y'all later. Bye.